WWF No Mercy was released on November 17, 2000 for the Nintendo 64. 13 months after its predecessor, WWF WrestleMania 2000, the first WWF wrestling game made by THQ was released. No Mercy released to critical acclaim and is in the majority of wrestling fans' top lists of wrestling games of all time. The PlayStation 2 console released 3 weeks before the release of WWF No Mercy, and 3 years later on October 27, 2003, THQ released Smackdown Here Comes the Pain, a game with one of the deepest and star-studded rosters ever in a wrestling game. It is also at the top of many wrestling fans' greatest games of all time. Let's compare the two to see what is the greatest wrestling game of all time. WWF No Mercy built upon the already premier game engine that was in WWF WrestleMania 2000, adding more superstars to the game from arguably the greatest era in wrestling history, with the likes of the Dudley Boys, Eddie Guerrero, and Chris Benoit. Also adding backstage brawls, allowing players to fight in backstage hallways, boiler rooms, locker room, bar, and loading dock, a first in the series. They would also add in the ladder match for the first time in the series as well, and expanding its story mode to have written dialogue and a branching story arc that would change depending on objectives and wins and losses. The Creator Wrestler mode was also very deep, as well as the ability to edit current wrestlers already in the game. With the Smackdown Mall, a virtual store with unlockable wrestlers, moves, and attires, but with virtual currency earned throughout the story mode and survival mode. The gameplay obviously a favorite of fans due to the simple button layout, easy for players to pick up, but with a large skill gap in strategy. The realism of the gameplay was very evident where smaller wrestlers couldn't pick up larger wrestlers, and realistic physics and movesets for the time. It is still played to this day, whether it be the original version or the various modded versions that are available. WWE Smackdown Here Comes the Pain was the fourth installment in the PlayStation Smackdown series, the direct competitor to the N64 series. It's the second installment on the PS2 console and the best of them all. It received very favorable reviews upon its release, with an absolutely stacked roster of over 50 superstars from many eras, with the best of the WWF Attitude Era and WCW late 90s as well, combined with the current stars at the time like Brock Lesnar, John Cena, Batista, and Rey Mysterio, their first appearances in WWE games. It also had a various assortment of legends like Jimmy Snuka, Roddy Piper, and older versions of current superstars like older versions of The Undertaker. With faster gameplay than No Mercy, made more appealing to non-wrestling fans with the more arcade style feel, but robust movesets to go along with a ton of match types, including 6-man Hell in a Cell, and the Elimination Chamber and Bra and Panties matches for the first time ever in the series. Also a first is the introduction of player ratings with different statistics to make clear differences between good superstars and not so good, depicting how it is in real WWE. Expanded story mode allowing you to choose what you wanted to do next involving the story and allowing you to go to the GM's office and ask for title shots. Also adding to the insane backstage areas and allowing you to drive motorcycles and forklifts backstage. Updated entrances and character models, the best at its time for a wrestling game. Comparing these two games can be difficult to do due to the difference in hardware and the 3 years between releases, but due to the wrestlers that were included on the roster with the likes of Stone Cold, Steve Austin, The Rock, Goldberg, Kevin Nash, Brock Lesnar, Batista, Rey Mysterio, John Cena, all on the same roster, it's a win for Here Comes the Pain. Gameplay, the edge goes to No Mercy, just due to the more realistic type of gameplay opposed to the more arcade style of the Smackdown series. When it comes to match types, Here Comes the Pain wins with this robust list of match types, multiple multi-man matches, 6 superstars being able to bring in the ring at the same time, and the addition of the Elimination Chamber. The story/season mode is another win for Here Comes the Pain, with it being more expansive and giving you the option to make your own decisions, and more dialogue compared to No Mercy's version of the story mode. Graphics obviously go to Here Comes the Pain as well due to the hardware it's played on compared to the N64, with it being able to have more realistic entrances and player models. With all that said, I have to give the edge to WWE Smackdown Here Comes the Pain as the greatest wrestling game of all time in the battle against a close number 2 in WWF No Mercy. Let me know in the comment section which game do you choose, or what other game do you think is the best wrestling game of all time. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.